Let's take you live now to Thohoyandou in Limpopo, where the SANDF is out in full force to celebrate Armed Forces Day. It's observed annually to commemorate the sinking of the SS Mendi in 1917, one of South Africa's greatest tragedies of the First World War. A total of 616 black South African troops lost their lives when the vessel sank en route to France. President Ramaphosa will lead the event, and our reporters Scara Mofokoane and Zola Sholwana are live for us from there. Zola, just in the previous hour, you had a conversation with the SANDF spokesperson. You also painted a picture of what we can expect of the day. How far along is the program?
Well, Master Chaba, the festivities or activities for the day have not started, but I can safely say that preparations are underway, as we are expecting that the official program will begin in a couple of hours from now at 10 o'clock according to the program. And that is, of course, if we do not experience any delays as far as the arrival of the president and other government dignitaries that are expected to be taking part in today's program. So right behind me is a community that has been, seeing all of this for the past week. On the day where there were rehearsals, where we saw some of the roads blocked, these were the first people to get to see SANDF members in close proximity. Master Chaba, on a normal day, it's not something that is usual for one to see a number of SANDF members that are just walking around the malls, some of them showing us their equipment, and we saw some of the jets that were being displayed as the weeks went by. I'm going to see if I can try and speak to some of the people here and find out what are they expecting. Are they excited about what is happening here? Mama, you can speak your language. What are you expecting to see today? Okay. Let me come to the young ones, and of course I'm speaking to them because at some point we saw long queues of young people that were queuing for jobs for the SANDF. But just take us through how you've been feeling, seeing soldiers almost everywhere in Thohoyandou.
Yeah. So what
are you looking forward to?
Yeah, mishumo no kono recognize you
Thank you very much. Let me come to you, ma'am. Thank you for your time. Soldiers are in your town, in Thohoyandou. Just take us through how you are feeling at this moment. And did you see any of their cars, the cars that we usually see on TV? For the past week, they've been right in front of you.
Yes,
Thank you very much for your time. I want to see if we can continue and engage with some of the people that are here. Ma'am, thank you very much for your time. Just take us through what you are expecting today. What are you hoping to see?
Definitely, I want to see the parade. I also want to hear the president's speech. We're very excited as a community. We were here very early in the morning. We are extremely excited and grateful to have you guys here.
Yeah. And of course, the past couple of days, we saw a recruitment drive where young people like yourself were queuing for jobs and hoping that they will be recruited by the SANDF. Do you perhaps see yourself maybe working for the military?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, because I feel like the age restriction is a disadvantage to most of us. If only maybe they could see how they can work around that, then most of us would definitely go and queue. Yes.
And something that a lot of you guys have been saying has been standing out is the fact that for the past couple of days you've been seeing soldiers in your streets. When you go to the mall, you see them. And also the equipment that they use. This is something that you hardly see on a daily basis.
Tell you what, we feel safer. I wish we could have such on a day-to-day basis. I feel safe, and everybody else. And if we could, nationally, if there could be a police presence like this, it would be way better to live. The communities are happy.
Thank you very much for your time. Those are, of course, community members that are eagerly waiting for all the festivities that will be taking place here at Masechaba. They want to see what the program is looking like. And, of course, the demonstrations by the SANDF. Scara, what's happening on your vantage point?
Absolutely excitement in Thohoyandou, as you heard from my colleague Zola interviewing some of those individuals or residents of Thohoyandou who are excited to see this happening on their streets. Here near Tabani Mall, I can tell you what they don't know is there's going to be a national anthem, a 21-gun salute and a salute flight. Come 10 o'clock, there'll be a march past. Marchinized columns is what they should expect. And the marchinized columns would be the members of the SANDF, the Navy, the members of the army as well, who will be lining up here. The marchinized columns is where the artillery of the SANDF will be showcased here. So much excitement. 10 o'clock is the start time, but I'm going to bring in the SANDF Chief Mofokoane, who is going to tell us more about this event and the significance of it all, Masechaba and you, Zola. Chief, thank you so much for joining us on Newzroom Afrika. This comes amidst, I must mention, word of ailing infrastructure by the SANDF and a bit of a low morale in the SNDF. How significant is this in the SANDF calendar?
This is a very important date in the calendar of the SNDF, and I want to correct you. The morale of the people of South Africa and the morale of the South African National Defence Force had never been at its highest like now. So the morale is not low. So this Armed Forces Day, it is a day when we are commemorating and acknowledging the sacrifices that our people have made. You will recall that it is basically after people have been aware that SS Mendi, that sank in 1917, and currently we are not only commemorating SS Mendi, we are saying we are looking at all the contributions that our people have made, those who have served both internally and externally. And I want you to understand that when I talk about morale, we had been involved both in the Eastern DRC, under MONUSCO, and our people have done extremely well. They are the ones that I think the United Nations had acknowledged that the best soldiers that they had ever deployed are the ones that are from South Africa. They are rearing to go. They fight, and they have done extremely well. Up to so far, you will recall that we are a very open and transparent organization. We have had losses. We lost 14 of our members, but we cannot brag about those on the other side that have perished and died. So we did extremely well there. We did extremely well in Mozambique. We did extremely well in Burundi, and in all the deployments that we have found ourselves.
I want to touch on something quickly. I'm out of time. It's important that you mentioned the DRC deployments, that's SAMI DRC and MONUSCO. MONUSCO is the longest serving operation of the SANDF. You are currently in the withdrawal stages of troops there. One, how is it going? And do you think you've made an impact in that region, the DRC, for you to withdraw those troops?
We had been there the longest, if one can say. The impact can be measured by the ability of the people in the Eastern DRC to be able to go on with their day-to-day life. Have we done that? We have contributed immensely. We have protected the people. We have brought a semblance of stability in areas where people couldn't move from place to place.
Just lastly, the impact of budget cuts on the SANDF, reality versus, how are they impacting the work that you do, both with deployments out of South Africa, in Africa, and internal deployments. I mean, I talk of right now, the president in his SONA speech mentioned that there will be boots on the ground in Gauteng and in the Western Cape. How are plans rather unfolding in that regard?
Let me start off by saying that the budget is not only a factor that affects the South African National Defence Force. The budget within the fiscus, we get a fair share. Is it enough? One will say we need more because there are more expectations from the people of South Africa to see involvement of the South African National Defence Force. And this, you will recall, the Commander-in-Chief had realized and even made a pronouncement, which most people from time to time tend to choose to forget. The Commander-in-Chief said he would like to see the Defence Force funded at 1.5% of the GDP. That cannot happen overnight. And the interaction with National Treasury, to the effect that we would like to see the implementation or operationalization of what the Commander-in-Chief had said. So we are very hopeful. We have got a plan that we have in place that addresses what is it that we need to do with regard to taking the Defence Force into the future. The plan is called Our Journey to Greatness. It means, therefore, very optimistic, we are saying we have got a will, we have got the capacity to build on what we are planning going into the future and leaving this Defence Force with the capacity that it should have. We today, as we speak, we can still, you will see when we demonstrate here today, we do have the capacity to defend, but will this capacity be able to sustain us into the future? Defense equipment is not like going to buy a loaf of bread. You need time to prepare. So we are preparing for those who will be coming after us. That is the budget that we need. The budget that we need is for us to rejuvenate, to be able to build the Defence Force that will be able to respond to the challenges going into the future.
Chief Mofokoane, thank you so much for your time. I wish you could have more time, but unfortunately that's all I have time for. General Chief Mofokoane there, who was telling us about, some of the deployments that we've seen, the longest serving deployment in the DRC, which is called MONUSCO, coming to an end, and that withdrawal process is still going on. But however, touching on another subject, which is very, very important, Maschaba, the sovereignty of the country, which the army or the SANDF would, in terms of protecting the country in itself, the capability which he speaks of, in terms of the budget cuts which we see on a yearly basis. He's saying they would love to see more, and likening the purchasing of equipment or artillery to protect the country. It's not like buying bread, as he mentioned. But however, Maschaba, as I mentioned earlier, festivities are starting. There are where Zola was along this stretch of road. We could see people already starting to line up. The road has been closed, and I've seen several of those artillery, the mechanized columns, getting ready to come and parade here. What is going to happen is that they're going to come from the direction that you are seeing and will make their way past where we're standing. They will make a salute to the Commander-in-Chief, which is the President Ramaphosa, before going straight on along the stretch of road past the Tabani Mall here in Thohoyandou, Maschaba. But we expect that to happen just before 9 o'clock. As I said earlier, a 21-round gun salute, a salute fight, a marching column, which is performed by the members of the SANDF, the Navy, and including the Army as well. And then we're gonna, at the end, see the fly past, which will just go over the skyline here in Thohoyandou, Maschaba.
Thanks very much, Scara. That's our reporters for Newzroom Afrika, Scara Mofokoane, who's also joined on the ground by Zola, Sholwana in Thohoyandou in Limpopo, where the SANDF is out in full force for Armed Forces Day. Of course, it's a big day. It's a busy day. We'll take you back there throughout the course of the morning.